Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm going to start this off. Well, actually, before I go to that, today I told you this year I have agreed to be a baseball coach, and I am no coach. I know how to make my sons good at baseball, but I am no baseball coach. Well, today is the draft. Now that I can do. The draft is 99% of the baseball team, in my opinion. Well, today I do the draft. And so I have been planning and plotting and analyzing all of today. Today I'll go out and evaluate these kids and here's my secret, by the way. I started training my son when he was 5 years old in baseball. And the one thing I learned is the most difficult thing to teach a little kid is to catch the baseball. So that's what I'll be looking for. I don't care if they can hit or not. If they can catch, I know they can do everything else, because that, from a coordination standpoint at that young of an age, that's the real thing that is the difference. Okay, let's start with XRP crypto. Well, today I'm gonna give you a little bit more on this Ripple IPO. As far as I think a lot of people out there are thinking totally the wrong way about what this is going to bring. In my opinion, it's going to be a huge win for XRP holders. And I think I can show you exactly that it's not just me talking here. I can show you exactly why. XRP crypto will first, I wanted to show you this. Singapore users will now have access to an institutional crypto platform for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and XRP. Cryptocurrency exchange independent reserve is expanding to Singapore. Singaporean dollar trading pairs will be integrated on the exchange. Now I think they're out of Australia. Now, Thinking Crypto had tweeted this out, and he's so right. To the people freaking out about the future Ripple IPO and the impact on XRP, are you also freaking out about Bitcoin with the upcoming Bitmain IPO? And for those of you that don't know, Bitmain is the biggest mining company of Bitcoin. And so that's what he's talking about here. Okay, now I want to make you understand the point here. Okay. First, what we need to all, I think we can all agree on, is Ripple's investment in MoneyGram has been a complete game changer for on-demand liquidity and XRP. And every week we're talking about corridors that could open, and we've even talked about how the CEO of MoneyGram has been asking Brad Garlinghouse, we need more corridors and da-da-da-da-da. And they're working on opening up more corridors, piece by piece. So once you accept that MoneyGram was a huge win, it's going to happen. The adoption of XRP is going to happen a lot faster through those type of investments and through acquisitions. Now, folks, this is where you need to listen. What you're looking at here, I showed it to you the other day. What you're looking at is the blog. No, and I want to tell you something else. Remember, Hodor did this blog. It was a blog called Scenario Ripple Goes Public. Now, this is purely me talking here, but I will tell you this. Prior to maybe swell of this year, Hodor is the only person that I remember, but maybe Tiffany Hayden would be the other. Hodor is the only person in the XRP community that I have seen publicly. It was from a video, I believe it was from a video that they did at Ripple headquarters, where Brad Garlinghouse mentioned how he likes to read Hodor's blogs. I've always thought that Hodor was not just some random person blogging. I could be totally wrong on that, but at a minimum, he's a very bright guy. Okay. Now, this is a part of that blog that he wrote about a scenario. When I saw him put up this blog scenario, Scenario Ripple Goes Public, I immediately thought that one of two things: either Hodor knew something, or Hodor this isn't his first rodeo, and he senses that the IPO is coming. Either way, it's irrelevant. But the point is, listen to what he says here in this part. Acquisitions galore. Even now, we can see clearly that Ripple has an appetite for acquisitions. Back when Ripple first hired Ron Will, I thought that it was a sign that the company was telegraphing its intention to go public sooner rather than later. I was wrong. What became clearly apparent was that Ripple was more interested in acquiring other companies rather than attempting to create curb appeal prior to an IPO. This is great news, as it speaks of even greater levels of confidence by Ripple's executive team than even I had foreseen. They had clearly mapped out a strategy to acquire companies that represented any possible missing pieces to their market rollout of software and services. They acquired portions of companies through Spring, although for the most part, these ownership levels are kept private through non-disclosure agreements. And of course, they purchased a chunk of MoneyGram in exchange for an ownership interest in that company, along with the transformation of MoneyGram's payment flows to include usage of XRP as a bridge asset. One thing is for certain, if Ripple has an opportunity to make more deals to integrate the use of XRP, they will do it. Not only that, but because the cost savings have allowed MoneyGram to survive and thrive. My guess is that other remittance processors will be wanting to go the same route and use XRP for settlement. In short, an IPO would enable Ripple to make dozens of more deals in short order. This is what I don't think a lot of people are thinking about. This takes things to the next level. Now, look at this. This is a tweet from back August 23rd, 2019, and it's an article that was done on Brad Garlinghouse, but this is all you need to hear. Blockchain payment startup Ripple is looking for new investments and acquisitions. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said, "We're in a very strong position. Our business is growing strongly. We have a strong balance sheet, and I intend to press our advantage." So the question is, when Ripple goes public, what does their advantage look like then in doing acquisitions that can expand the on-demand liquidity with XRP? The answer to that question is very obvious to anybody who's really paying attention. And this is why I'm so excited about the Ripple going IPO. I will probably also buy some shares once it goes public. Or if maybe I can figure out how to buy before then, I'll have XRP and Ripple stock. And then you've got Michael Arrington. Now remember, Michael Arrington runs Arrington XRP Capital. He's the founder of TechCrunch. This guy's no dummy. He says disregard FUD around a Ripple IPO. It's healthy and it's awesome when it happens. Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse hints firm may seek IPO within 12 months. And then this guy says, your take on this means a lot. It's healthy for Ripple for sure, but do you also see it being healthy for XRP? Absolutely. And the reason he says absolutely is he knows what I just told you. And he also is friends with Brad Garlinghouse. He is, you'll see him around Brad Garlinghouse. So this guy knows exactly what's going on. Then Mr. B did a poll here, just so you see. The sentiment's a little better than I initially thought. Do you think Ripple's going public will help to increase XRP's value and adoption? XRP community, please retweet. So yes, most of the community does believe that. I think this number will go up as people start to really realize what's going on here. Okay, now I wanted to show you this. I went back and I found this tweet from David Schwartz. There is no IPO. Ripple is a privately held company. Accredited investors can buy shares of privately held companies on secondary markets, such as Shares Post and Equities In. Well, I read this and I said, well, just out of curiosity, as long as we're talking about Ripple's IPO and the potential valuation, let's go to Shares Post and see if I can find out what it is. So I went to Ripple. Went to Shares. It's Shares with an S, sharespost.com. Any of you can do this. Go, just open an account. To open an account, you don't have to be an accredited investor. But if you want to buy Ripple stock right now, you can, if you can show them, and I'm not sure what questions you have to answer to do that, but you can become one and buy Ripple stock right now. So it gives you a lot of information about Ripple's shares and all that right now. And I'll show you right now an example. This right here, I tweeted this out earlier today. This shows you their series round back in series, their funding rounds. Back when they first were funded in 2015, I guess, they were valued at 80 cents or so a share. And then in their second round, in the B round, they were valued at $2 a share. And then let's see if there was another round. The Series C round is the one they just did where they got $200 million. Now they're valued at $61.48 a share. It also shows some other interesting information. All the key investors. This gives you a lot more of the venture capital firms that backed Ripple than I even knew. And then it shows their management team, board members, and some news and different things. Up here at the top, funding to date is $293 million, founded in 2012. So there's a lot of good information here. Okay, and then I wanted to show you this. This was a tweet from Bob Way back on May 5th of 2019. In general, illiquid means no one can publicly sell Ripple stock until the company IPOs. The company's major asset is XRP. Hence, buying Ripple stock is a long-term bet on XRP becoming more valuable. See where this is going, folks? And then there's this. Mr. B, and he got this from Jungle Inc., this quote from Stefan Thomas a while back. Our product ultimately is the currency, the bridge asset, Stefan Thomas. So this is their product. So now this should complete a pretty obvious picture to you about what this is all really about. This is about having the ultimate gunpowder to go out and buy and buy companies where XRP and on-demand liquidity can be deployed is what this is about. Okay. All right. This is too good to not show you. The other day when Brad Garlinghouse was doing that Wall Street Journal thing in Davos, someone gave him a hard time. Brad Garlinghouse does not normally wear boots. So Twitter always notices. Somebody says, "What's up with the shoes?" And Brad Garlinghouse says, "It's slick out there. Safety first. Don't at me about the boots." And so then, somewhere in there, right here, I said, "Are those moon boots?" Well, I don't know if that was picked up on or what, but once again, XRP, the Standard Productions, who has really come on strong with what I call the onion of the XRP community and digital assets. Garlinghouse moon boots fuel rampant speculation. And he's got a picture of Brad Garlinghouse in these huge moon boots. And I just thought it was funny. It says, clomping up on stage to begin a panel discussion anchored by the Wall Street Journal's Philippa Leighton Jones in Davos, Switzerland Thursday. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of blockchain payments company Ripple, created no less than speculative pandemonium with his peculiar choice of footwear. Interesting boots. Anything you'd like to share? "Oh, these old things," said Garlinghouse, looking down at his feet and proceeding to wink at the audience. "No, nothing to share. Just never know when you'll be making a trip to the moon. Am I right? Ha ha ha." I thought this is classic. Again, it's parody. It's great stuff. I love it. All right. And then I wanted to give a shout out here. Crypt Hair. I guess that's how you say that. This is a person, and I don't know if I'm getting this title right, but I think I am. Wanted to be the official French YouTuber of the Digital Asset Investor channel because they have their own YouTube channel, and here it is. If you want to go follow that, look, it's all in French. So if you're French speaking, this might be a good place to go. I subscribe, even though I don't understand a word that they're saying. All right, next, XRP Wizard sent me this. I just wanted to let you know that Charles Hoskinson, who was in Davos, he says, "Here's a consortium we are a part of with the European Union to study decentralized software updates. We should have a great paper out sometime in the summer on the topic." So I just wanted to show this to illustrate to you. Even Brad Garlinghouse says you should diversify. I don't own, the only thing I own right now is XRP and Bitcoin. I did own some Cardano, but I don't now. I do think Cardano is one to watch, and this is just one of the reasons you should see that. I think Cardano is going to be a big. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that I think Cardano is doing some good things. Thank you for listening.